But before I start that, I just wanted to also just extend my heartfelt, um, what's the word? My prayers and my blessings to all the people that have been affected by Hurricane Helene. It's just knocked out caused so much damage in the States. And yeah, so I hope that the money and the resources that the Dems are providing will be coming in soon and supporting you guys, anybody that's affected by it, or if any of you have family that are affected by it. My thoughts are with you, Kay. And we we get storms in Australia as well. We call them cyclones, and they mainly happen in Queensland, which is they can happen anywhere north. They can happen in Western Australia, but or in the Northern Territory. So if you get a map of Australia and if you look at places like Queensland, the Northern Territory, and say the top part of Western Australia, that's generally where the cyclones happen. So we get them as well, but you guys have just been hammered, especially down in Florida, and I believe there's another one forming as well. So it's yeah, in um in 1974 there was a capital of the Northern Territory called Darwin, and it got leveled by a cyclone. It was called Cyclone Tracy, and it's quite famous in Australia. But it just wiped out that whole town back in 1974, which was a long time ago, 50 years ago, I think. Yes, yeah. So 50 years ago, this Christmas, it'll be 50 years since that happened. Um, yeah. So we get those storms too. So in a way, we can relate to that. But honestly, my heart goes out to everybody that's been affected by these storms. So I hope you're all safe and getting okay. Hope you're okay. All right. The other thing that I wanted to talk about today, which kind of really filled my heart with joy, um, was in Wisconsin. So Wisconsin apparently is the birthplace of the GOP. And pardon me, because I'm still I'm Australian, so I'm trying to get all my American geography happening here. Now I believe that Wisconsin is a one of these deciding states. It's a split state, like it's not. Yeah, it's a deciding state. Or I can't think of the right word, but it's kind of like on the edge. It can go either blue or it can go red. And so what happened was the other day is, and you are probably all aware of this, Liz Cheney, who is a Republican royalty and endorsed Kamala Harris, and they did a rally together. And Liz Cheney spoke first, and then Kamala Harris came on. And I thought it was really powerful. And I wanted to have a look at that to see what effect that would have on Republicans, because I do believe that things are changing with the Republican Party. Like I said in the previous video, there will always be people that will be pure MAGA, that just, it won't matter who says what or whatever. They will just follow Trump to the very end, to the ends of the world. And as long as Trump says something, they will regard it as gospel. Yeah, so entertainment only YouTube. So there will be that core of people, that those MAGA people that won't change. But I do believe that there will be sections of the GOP that will be, looking at this logically and looking at this, from a different viewpoint. And so I was really heartened to see Liz Cheney endorse Kamala Harris, and apparently Dick Cheney has endorsed Kamala Harris as well. Now, I would imagine that Liz Cheney probably doesn't agree on a lot of things that Kamala Harris says, but Liz Cheney's take on it is that, well, it's actually about loyalty to the Constitution and to the country, because she firmly believes that Trump has actually said he wants to get rid of the Constitution and everything that he said. And so Liz Cheney was coming from the fact of, if you love the country and you love our Constitution and you want to keep the Constitution intact and keep democracy intact, there's only one choice in this election, and that is to vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. So that's where Liz Cheney was coming from. And it was a very powerful speech, and it was very humbling. And then Kamala came on after that and obviously thanked Liz Cheney, but spoke about Liz Cheney's courage. because I'm sure that she's probably received threats, and I think politically she's lost seats. I'm not sure whereabouts Liz Cheney's seat was, but I'm sure that she has majorly suffered politically because she's chosen to abandon the GOP and just do what's right for the country, like just be a patriot. And I just wanted to have a look at that. I also was watching The View the other day, and I believe that Liz Cheney, and a couple of other people are going to be rallying in some, like they're going to be going as like a non-partisan group and talking to some people. I'm not sure whereabouts that's going to happen, but Alyssa mentioned that on The View last week. Um, yeah, I think yeah, with Cassidy Hutchinson as well, the three of them, but maybe more. I'm not sure. So it's really the women are really getting out there, which is incredible, and it's good. So it's really really good. So I kind of wanted just to have a look at all that energy, but in particular, the energy surrounding Liz Cheney and Kamala Harris campaigning together for Kamala Harris. I thought that was very brave of Liz Cheney to do that as well, and I respect her for that. Ultimately, respect her. I very much respect her for that. So let's see what the cards have to say about that. Come on down. Yeah, so I'm just going to have a look at that, like I said. All right. So, what will be the effect on the? What am I wanting to ask here about that? So, Spirit, when Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney got together, will that encourage GOP voters to vote for Harris? So, will them getting together, Liz Cheney and Kamala Harris, will that work? Like, will that actually break through to some GOP members? And will that encourage the GOP's members to vote for Kamala Harris? So, in other words, will it be effectful? Will Justice, okay, that fell out. Let's see if it comes out in the reading. Will the rally of Liz and Kamala encourage GOP people to vote for Kamala Harris? Will encourage GOP people to vote for Kamala Harris? Will Chariot, Page of Cups, the Empress, Two of Wands. Might keep going. Queen of Wands is Kamala. Ten of Pentacles. King of Swords. King of Swords. Wow. I think that's a yes, guys. Come on up. Yeah, so I think we'll encourage some people from the GOP to vote for Harris. It's going to be very much a mental decision, but it looks to me like um, it's really going to resound around women, and it's going to expand the base that people are going to vote for Kamala Harris. But I do think, just as an overview, um, it's going to be the legacy of the GOP is going to be that people are just done with the GOP. It's over. So the first card that came out is the Chariot. I'm just using Lena's deck. So if you're watching Lena, hi. If you ever watched this, Yeah, the Chariot. So Lena and Sienna's deck, One World Tarot. So this was the card I got in the previous reading, which is talking about the Harris campaign moving forward. And you can see here, this is in a way you can see this is a combined effort of Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney. And if you think about the original Chariot card, there's the two lines. There's a black line and a white line. If you think about the original card in the RWS, two opposing kind of forces, but they're working together. And this is exactly what has happened with Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney getting together. And it's really adding to that. It's adding to that motion moving forward because they've just sent out the message into the world. Like they've actually, they've thrown it out there that, um, if you are voting for Trump, you're voting for the message is like, it stinks. What he's got to offer, it stinks. When it comes to the Constitution, when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to equality, and everything that Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney said, the Constitution and everything else, the message that they've sent out or the planning has been, you know, it's the message that they're giving you, it stinks a bit. It's a bit pungent on the bit pungent to the nose. Um, and really, I think it's the women that are going to really resonate with this. And I do think that entertainment purposes, only YouTube, I do think that it's really the women that are really getting involved with this. And this is really, really, this election is primarily, I think, for a lot of people, it's about the inequality and the overturning of Roe versus Wade, which I don't understand at all. I just think that what a woman does with her body is between her and a doctor. I mean, that's it. If she needs to get an abortion or whatever she needs to do, she should have support and the freedom to do that. And it's no one's business. Certainly not government's business. Anyway, my little rant there. But it's going to really, really, really resound with women voters. And if you think about the Empress, she expands things. And so literally this is going to be expanding the base of people. So this is what I'm thinking of. This expansion is to do with people from the GOP that are going to think, well, okay, I'm actually going to put country over party first, and I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because I do think that was what Liz Cheney was saying was very powerful, and it did affect. It will affect the campaign for Harris, and whilst in a positive way, because what's going to happen is if you think about the Ten of Pentacles, this can be a card about many things, and there are people that have in the GOP that have generations that voted for the GOP. It's been a tradition in many families, I'm sure, where grandma and grandpa were GOP voters, and parents were and children were. But this is a card about legacy as well, and I think this is all the stuff that Donald Trump's done, and the legacy is going to be that people are just going to be voting for Kamala Harris. So with the Queen of Wands, this is my card for Kamala Harris. She's come up again. She came up in the previous reading as well. And so I do think I got the Queen of Swords and I got the King of Swords. So the final card on the reading was the Queen of Swords, and the base of the deck was the King of Swords. So this is very much going to be a mental decision. I think people are just going to look at it logically, and I think that's what's going to happen. People are going to look at it from a logical point of view, and look at the facts, and look at what Kamala has been saying, and looking at what Liz Cheney said, and all the other women. But I'm reading specifically about this rally, and people are going to say, well, you know what? They just spoke the truth, and it's going to be, and people are going to be having discussions with their partners and with the men in their lives. The women are going to be like these women here, right? Are going to be having these honest discussions with their husbands and with their partners, irrespective of their sexuality or irrespective of what gender that past partner is. But I've got the king. I've got the king and the Queen of Swords. So there's going to be a lot of dialogue going on here, and it's going to be air. People are probably going to be emailing each other, but it's going to be air. It's going to be very logical, and it's probably going to come down to, well, you know, it. I don't really want to vote for Kamala Harris if I'm a GOP person, but I've really got no choice because look at the facts, and it's just going to be a very, very, very analytical decision. And I do think a lot of it is going to get back or stretch from the overturning of Roe versus Wade and everything that Trump did to do that. And he boasted about it. I mean, women have been dying because of that. It's so barbaric. I cannot understand it for the life of me. Once again, YouTube entertainment purposes only. So once again, I think that Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney getting together, I think was a very, very powerful moment. And I think it's going to change. I think it will affect people, and it's going to have a flowing on effect, and it will definitely will grow the base of people that will vote for Kamala Harris. So that's a good thing. All right, guys, I'm going to head off and do a few things now. You have a wonderful day. God bless you, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.